Okay, lots of you have asked for more Dimebag Darrell lessons after I posted that first one about a month ago. And I'm always down to dime. That sounded so much weirder when I said it out loud. Now, one of the biggest things in Dime's playing, especially his shred stuff, is his use of sequencing. You guys hear me talk about this all the time, and it's one of the biggest things I took away from his playing. I want to show you the 3 licks that I still use from him all the time. So I've got tabs for you, linked down below. If you would, subscribe if you want to see more of these lessons. And also, I did a whole course on this. I have a Essential Sequences course. If you want to check that out, I'll put it on sale for this week because I'm doing this video. And that's just the biggest way to support the channel. So without further ado, let's get to the lesson. Okay, so the first one comes from the A New Level solo. It's just a little snippet that he plays in there, but I thought it was such a cool pattern, and it really just had that dime sound to it. So slow, it looks like this. Now, Dime actually keeps going with that lick, and he slides down, and keeps going. But I thought I would just kind of put a bow on it and resolve it there to that E. But you can see how he's combining kind of like Dorian and, just the blues scale, really. But this is a very common pattern that he does a lot. It's pretty similar to the one he does in Primal Concrete Sledge. We're going like this, so all out of E, right there, that would be our scale. So the pattern is this though. We're gonna go 15, 14, 12 on the high E string. Now, I'm gonna pick the first note and pull off the next one. One of my favorite things about Dime's playing is how he didn't typically pick everything. It was very kind of from that school of EVH, where he would pick some notes, pull off some. It was that combination. I just love that dynamic sound. So you have this, then you're gonna go back to 14, pick it again. You know what? I'm not picking it. I'm just gonna go right back to it. 14, pull off to 12, so you have. Then I go 15 on the B. Then I go back to 12 on the high string. And that's the lick. I didn't even, how many notes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, interesting, a 7-note lick. And then he just takes that shape and moves it up through the scale. Again, very much kind of from that camp of EVH. So, except don't play the wrong string like I did. Now I'm going to be on the B string, same thing. 15, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, get that flat 5 in there, back to 12. And he does it really, it's just there for a second. He's kind of just turning and burning. Now we're going to do the same thing here, but we alter one note. So we're going to still do the 15, 14, 12, just like we've been doing. So on the G, pick, then pull off 15, 14, 14, 12, 14, 12. And then I'm going to reach up here and get this 16 on the D. So, and then 12 on the G, and then 14. Now, he does not do that. He plays that note. What happens is he goes like this. He slides down and keeps going this way. But it turns it into a whole nother lick, and I just wanted to keep it strictly about the sequence right now. But, so I'm doing the same note, but I just put it up there so we could continue the pattern a little bit longer. And you could keep going with this. Okay, keep going. Okay, so there's the first one, and I remember when I learned this, I just felt really cool. I was like, yeah, that's a dime lick, I got it. So on to the next one. All right, we're hopping over to Psycho Holiday. I should point out, I know that I don't have a dime style tone at all. That was just a sound that I never chased. This is just my normal tone. And this one's really cool because of the way he grouped these triplets. Which was not something that I had done before. Typically when I did these 3-note groupings, I kind of just kept it all like that. Well, he's actually breaking it up in a really interesting way. So in the solo, it starts out. Whatever he does next there. And then he goes from kind of like he's playing major basically G major pentatonic. And then he goes to minor. And he has that big, big stretch lick. But this one, we're gonna go 15, 17, 18 on the G twice. I'm picking everything. I don't know if Dime picked everything. It sure sounds like you can hear the pick hitting the string. Okay? Now, the next thing that we do is a really cool concept for you to take away from this, because it extends the lick a lot further than if we just took that pattern and moved it across the strings. So we did this. Now watch. We're going to go to the B string, and you're going to go 15, 17, but go to 18 on the G. Okay? And you can do that twice. Still keeping that 3-note kind of feel, that triplet. But now we're going to stay on the B string, and we're going to go 15, 17, 18 on it. Okay, and then same thing on the high string, 15, 17, 18, 15, 17, 18, but getting that 18 on the B string. And then the high string. So you can see how we've really, like if I just went like this, okay, it's a short lick, it doesn't last very long, but if we go like this, you can keep going with it. And it's very similar to what he's doing in Cycle Holiday. I'm not saying I have any of these perfect, but the idea is there. Now the final lick is probably my most overused stolen lick from Dime. Man, I can't remember what album this is off of. It might be Reinventing the Steel? The song is Revolution Is My Name. Something like that. But I remember when I heard the solo, there's like multiple solos in this song, and he did this descending 4 lick, and I was just like, I have to know what that is. Like, I just loved the bounce that it had to it. And I don't know Dime's picking necessarily. He might be picking more or less than what I am. I'm just going to show you the notes. So he goes... something like that, you know. And you can, I would recommend practicing a lick like this using both pointer, middle, ring, and pointer, ring, pinky. Get both of them in there. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do this lick both ways. Just like that. Like, don't worry about it. So if you notice, we're kind of using the same scale for all of these. This hybrid pentatonic Dorian blues scale, where you get to keep this shape across all the strings. Now we're doing a 4-note grouping here. So far we had a nice little 7-note idea. Or maybe it's 8, maybe there's like a slight pause making it 8. People who are better at counting that stuff can count it. So we had 8, 3, now we're moving into 4. So you can see how Dime is using not only sequencing, but he's using different values of sequencing. So we're gonna go 8, 7, 5 on the high string, and then you go to 8 on the B. Now that is your 4. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all we're doing, at least the way it works in my mind, is we're taking a note from the higher string and we're adding it to the lower string. So we're gonna go, okay, and then you're gonna go 7, 5 on the high string, and then 8, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 on the high string, go to the B string, 8, 7, 5. So you see how we're just taking one note from one string and kind of adding a note to the next one. Because we're always, look, 8, take the 7, 5, okay? So now what you have to do is start over again, but we're gonna stay on the B string. So you're gonna do 8, 7, 5 again on the B, and then 8 on the high string, or sorry, 8 on the G. And I'll talk about the picking here in just a second, because I don't pick everything when I do this lick. I'm picking it now, but don't worry about that. Okay? Now, same idea applies. We're gonna go 7, 5 on the B, 8, 7 on the G, 5 on the B, and then 8, 7, 5 on the G. So the final one, we're gonna start over again on the G, 8, 7, 5, and then I resolve it here. And I can't remember what Dime does, to be honest. It's something like that. But that's the overall lick. And this 4-note sequence that he's doing. Now, for picking, I tend to go like this. See, it's not going to be tabbed out because I don't know what I'm doing. It just is whatever felt natural. Pick, pick, pull off. I do know on a lick like this, I preferred slightly more picking. You know, you could do it very legato. I liked a little bit more aggression out of it, so I tend to pick it a little bit more. So that'd be probably the most accurate of how I'm picking it. And there you guys have it. So if you want more, if you think you can handle more Dimebag Darrell licks and riffs, just let me know. Maybe we'll do some riffs this time, because Dime was one of those guys, when it came to metal, probably the most influential guitarist on me. Like the heavier stuff that I liked, because he always had that groove, that swagger, just, you know, that aggressive sound in his playing. So I can do Dime stuff all the time. You know, I'm not saying I necessarily have mastered Dime style, but I've taken a lot away from it, and maybe if you enjoy this kind of more conceptual look at Dime's playing, you know, I can do a lot more of that stuff. So other than that, I appreciate you guys. If you would, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget your tabs. That might help you out. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, just check out that essential sequencing. Why did I give it a name I can't say? Course that's linked down below for you. It's on sale this week. And yo, I just appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, homies.